Hello and welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about life in the garden. I'm Bowtie David. We live in Destin Zone 9B, and today we're not going to be in here. We're going to be out in the garden. I got some of the potatoes. Well, actually, all those potatoes. I've showed this little clip of the video of the overly chitted potatoes, and they look rough. Because they are rough, they sat a little bit too long, but I still planted them. And I just want to show you briefly what I did. This isn't going to be a very long video, but it will be the last in the series for seed starting spring of 2024. Coming up very soon, we'll have part 3 of the monthly garden tours for April 2024. Can't believe we're coming to the end of the garden tours already. And we'll be doing the raised garden beds in that next video. And so be sure, to subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube if you have not done so already, so you don't miss a thing. And videos come out here on YouTube first. To those of you who have subscribed, you are my heroes. You have helped make Bowtie Life what it is today, and I do appreciate you. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So this is recorded April 12th on Saturday, 12th? Oh, that was Friday, wasn't it? And it was a day that one of my neighbors was blaring some music really loud as they're working on their new shed. So I couldn't get a lot of good audio while I was doing this job, which is never a problem because we just do it this way. And I sit here and narrate after the fact. But you can see here, I like using a tarp for doing this. That tarp will keep my potting soil separate from the grass. It makes it a little easier. And I'm emptying old grow bags of soil and other stuff. In fact, that one I just emptied, you can see is more not soil and more leaves than it is soil. Now, the soil, I use this soil over and over, folks. And that soil has a lot of minerals in it, a lot of crystal structure, a lot of elements in the earth that provide places for biome to live and water to be held slightly. And some of these even have perlite in them. And you can see like that one right there I just emptied has a lot of white stuff. And that helps to improve drainage. And we're going to be adding some compost here in a little bit, you'll see. But basically, I'm just going to recycle as much of this as I can. I think I ultimately recycled 13 or 14 grow bags. If you watch my garden tours, these are in the side garden. And as I'm going along here, I'm pulling out any roots or any plants that I can find. These bags have been kind of stacked up, so they've gotten a moisture. They're not totally hydrophobic, though that some of these are fairly dry. And you can see here, I'm going to work through and pull out roots and other stuff that's in there that might grow into something, but it's probably already dead because there would have been another bag sitting on top of this one. And so I spend some time here with the hoe breaking up clumps. Some of these clumps are a little more stubborn than others. And as we go through this mixing process, the soil, you'll see I break up a lot of clumps and pull things out. I'm pulling out old plant tags, and I can actually see there's a dollarweed root up there, a stem, a little stick, plastic stick for my plant markers, etc. And of course, big balls of roots like this that have got to come out. But this is normal stuff in recycling soil. So I've added to this, probably not the same amount. This is about half again as much. This is the horse muck compost, folks, that I've been getting out of the equestrian center. I really like this stuff. This is my 3rd year using it, and I'm going to mix it in here with the hoe again. Oh, back up. Forgot. I'm going to go ahead and add some of this Dr. Earth Tomato Grow organic fertilizer. I'm going to add 4 of these scoops of this fertilizer in there, and I kind of threw that first one, and it looks like most of it disappeared in the wind, but it did not. It was rather dusty. And so, yeah, 4 of these, and this is kind of a rough estimate. This is all going to get mixed into everything in there. So it should be all the food these potatoes need in the time they're growing. Hopefully this time we can grow some potatoes and have some harvest. I did not have hardly any last year, but year before last I had, I can't remember, 25 pounds of harvest. So anyway, I'm going to take this and pretty much try to mix it in. And this is one of the things I like about having a tarp under here is you can kind of lift it up and mix things together, but it didn't work. It was a little too heavy on this end for me. And so I just took a hoe, spread it out, and you can see here pretty quick the fertilizer starts getting worked in to the soil. And I'll work my way all the way around here, flatten these out. Now, this is a pretty heavy pile to lift the tarp, and if you're not able to, you could do smaller batches. I was feeling a little overly ambitious in this, and you'll see here in just a little bit. I actually did get a good mix on this and was able to lift it up a couple of times. So you can see here, I got it all spread out, and as I pull it, you can see it does a great job of mixing around and getting all homogenized. Big old clump of roots right there on the front, unearthed. I'll get those cleaned up. As I go, I just go through and pull out any roots and balls of roots that I see. So after selecting the appropriate shovel, and you'll notice I've got a flat nose shovel here. Think about what you're shoveling, people. If you're shoveling off of a flat surface, which this tarp actually could be considered a flat surface, it's real easy to shovel up this loose stuff with a flat nose shovel. I could use a spade. Sometimes that spade will dig into the tarp. But what I ended up doing here is putting about 3 shovelfuls in the bottom of each of 9 grow bags. I have 18 potatoes, and so I've got 9 grow bags. I'm going to be putting 2 in each one of these grow bags for this harvest. So 3 bags puts about 3 scoops puts about 3 or 4 inches of soil at the bottom of each bag, upon which I will nestle my potatoes. So you can see here I've nestled these potatoes opposite the handles, in other words not lined up with the handles. That's just a note to myself so I know where they're planted. And on this last one you can see I left it a little bit uncovered. This is all I do. I just put a little bit of the soil around it to get it to the point where they are covered, which puts it about 3 inches above the bottom of the pot. So at this point we need to talk about what kind of potatoes we have, because you'll notice I'm going to be filling these bags to the top, which means there's not going to be any hilling on top of these potatoes. So why not? Here's the reason, folks. These are early potatoes. There's first early, second early potatoes. These are considered like a determinate potato. They will grow a certain amount, produce a certain number of potatoes, and that's it. Now, late potatoes don't grow like that. They will grow, and you can mound up the soil around them and on top of them, and they will grow some more, and every time you mound up, they'll grow more potatoes. These do not do that. These are Yukon Gold. They're first early, which means they're going to grow in here. They're going to create all their potatoes on one strata of the pot, one level of the pot. And it's one of the reasons why it's important to know the differences between the kinds of plants you're planting, so that you know what to expect from them and know how to manage them. And if you didn't know that, you might sit there and try to mound these up and be very disappointed with the results. And so yeah, that is what these potatoes are. I put about 3 full scoops on top of all of these, plus a little bit. I think it might have been close to 4 full scoops once it's all said and done. And I'm going to mound them up pretty much right to the top. And of course you can see here that I filled them to the top, as full as I could get them. And that is it. Now they are going to sink a little bit as I start watering. Not a lot, but it'll be enough to hold the water in. And you can see here, I'm watering a little bit in each pot till it starts soaking through the edge, and it won't soak through just right. I have to go through these several times to make sure. In fact, the whole process of getting these things well watered in took me about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, as I sat there and just did a little bit in each pot, a few gallons in each pot, or a gallon in each pot maybe. And so with that, potatoes are planted, and I am so happy to have that done. Now, I did not show every seed that I planted. We actually have another tray of seeds over here. My basil didn't do very good, and I like having lots of basil in the yard, so I actually went with another round of basil. Had a few requests for, Everglades tomato plants. And I think I planted 7 more of those. So if you're from church and you requested those, hopefully here in a few weeks, we'll have Everglades tomato plants on the Sunday Farm Basket. So I'm excited about that. Okay, that is the video. This is, like I said already, the very last of the series for seeds starting spring of 2024. I thank you for following along today. If you've already subscribed to Bowtie Life on YouTube, you are my heroes. You have helped make Bowtie Life what it is today, and I appreciate it. We're trying to grow our channel to the next level, and when we get to that point, we'll be able to do so much more. For those of you just finding the Bowtie Life channel for the first time on YouTube, this is my own personal journal of everything going on in the garden. Okay, I keep saying everything. I know I didn't document those beans when I planted them, and I had to go digging around, and I found 2 beans that were in there. One had just started roots, which I was very sad about. I very gently stuck it back in. I did grow beans sometime in the past week. So I was actually intending to make a short on that, and obviously it didn't happen. So that is what this is with my ADD brain. I find these videos really speak to it and keep my interest up. I've tried journaling, I've tried photography, I've tried the little apps on the phones, and I just can't seem to get consistency and get excited about doing that, though I do get excited about watching my own videos sometimes. I don't know, does that make me self-involved? I don't think so. Sometimes I do just play it on the TV while I'm getting ready in the morning, and it reminds me of things. In fact, doing this, I remembered I had some things to chop out over there because I saw them in the back of my video, and I said, I better go get that. And so I stopped editing, ran out there, did 5 minutes worth of work, came back in. That's how my life goes. Be sure to subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube so you don't miss a thing happening in the garden, as I documented almost all the important events here and share our life. Beans planted, confirmed. Another way you can help is you can click the thumbs up on this video and share it on your social media with your friends who might be getting excited to start their new year garden. And with all that being said, have a blessed day.